Hello everyone and welcome to week 10 of the LifeScaping Health Transformation Sessions. I hope you've been able to apply last week's lesson about adding fats and oils to your routine. Remember, they're healthy for you and they will help you lose weight by keeping you full between meals. This week, let's talk about proteins. We're going to talk about carbohydrates last because they're a little bit more complex, no pun intended. So, what are proteins? After water, proteins are the most abundant compound in your system. They're the main building block of many structures in your body. There are many different types of proteins, and each one has a specific job to do. They're abundant in your hair, skin, muscles, organs, and tissues. Your body uses them to build all your new cells. Enzymes are made of proteins. You've likely heard of them as being involved in digestion, but enzymes help with many different types of reactions in the body. This type of protein is critical in turning your food into energy. Some hormones are also proteins. These help you regulate muscle mass, hair growth, metabolism, and even your stress levels. Antibodies are proteins that are essential to your health. They are the primary component of your immune system. They help fight infection caused by bacteria and viruses. These are just a few examples of how proteins are used in your body. With all the important roles this macronutrient plays, you can understand why it's so important to give your body good quality proteins to build new cells. The list of symptoms you could experience from ingesting poor quality proteins or not eating enough of them is almost endless. Weak immunity, brittle hair and nails, poor digestion, muscle loss, and so on. A friend of mine's daughter a few years ago decided that she was going to become a vegan. She stuck to it for a long time, and after a while her hair had thinned out a lot. That was an apparent symptom of low protein intake. You can just imagine what else was happening inside her body that wasn't so apparent. Many teenagers decide to become vegans or vegetarians, and they forget that protein is an important part of their meal. As a nutritionist, I strongly recommend they count their proteins first and then add their vegetables and their oils. So what are good ways to get proteins? Aside from eating a piece of meat the size of the palm of your hand, making sure to get a good quality protein is the best way to keep your body healthy. The bulk of the protein you eat likely comes from meats. However, you can also get proteins from nuts and seeds, beans, lentils, tofu, eggs, dairy products, and even some vegetables and grains are high in protein. They're found in a large variety of foods, which is great because it gives you a lot of choices when you're planning a meal. Relative to bad proteins, the good news is you probably already know more than you realize which ones they are. I'm sure, for example, you've heard that processed meats or deli meats are not healthy for you. Well, as a general rule, any foods, meat included, that contain additives and preservatives should not be eaten and should be kept out of your house altogether. Any kind of processed meats are a great example of a bad protein. Some stores now make their lunch meats with no additives. I think a great alternative that would be healthier and less expensive is that when you make your dinner, always plan for the next day's lunch at the same time. What I mean is that when you cook a good, healthy organic protein, or even a regular lean beef, turkey, pork, or chicken for supper, it's really easy to cook double the amount and put the leftovers in the fridge. The next day, you can slice it up and have it for lunch. This lunch meat will be cheaper and healthier, but above all, it'll taste much better. I like slicing mine really thin so that it looks like store-bought deli meat. Along with added chemicals, another thing to avoid is meats that are smoked or cooked too dark. You may love the taste of these meats like a smoked ham or a charred piece of steak, but many of these preparation styles are carcinogenic. This means that they may cause cancers in your body. No need to avoid them, just keep them at a bare minimum. If you keep your body healthy, Your lymphatic system is able to keep things like this in check. So don't worry about having them once in a while. Just don't have them at every meal. Meats that are raised with hormones or antibiotics may also be damaging to your body. That's why now you hear restaurants advertising that their meats are raised without them. Excessive, unnecessary antibiotics and hormones should not be added to your nutrition. Here in Canada, we have stricter rules on raising our animals than they do in the United States. But still, you still need to pay attention. Based on what we've just discussed about recognizing the bad choices, you likely have a sense of what you should be looking for. Stay away from anything treated or preserved. Look for natural, not processed, and preferably organic. Words like grass-fed or free range are a good way to judge the quality of your protein. In this week's handout, you'll find a list of proteins that your body will benefit from. Your meals don't have to always contain a meat protein. Some variety in your protein is a good thing. So instead of meat, you can have something like eggs or beans. A nice bowl of lentil soup can be a great protein meal, and you can even add your vegetables and your fats to it. A bowl of cereal made with nuts and seeds, like we recommend in our programs, is a great breakfast option. So please have a look at the protein handout for options and ideas of things to try. For our next session, as I mentioned, we'll start looking at carbohydrates, our third macronutrient. This discussion will take a little longer, so next week we'll start learning about the words carbohydrates and sugars. Then we'll take a couple more weeks to expand on this subject. For now, pay attention to your proteins and your fats, and remember that what you put into your body is what your invisible inner doctor uses to rebuild you. Good luck, have fun, choose to be happy, and I look forward to seeing you next week.